Celso Talks podcast. He's been in this game since 2016. Now he's in 2025 with a different podcast with live guests for the first time. Welcome to Celso Talks podcast. 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 Celso Talks podcast about to start with Celso Louis Santiago Jr. transmitting live from Dunkirk, New York. Welcome to Celso Talks podcast. Celso Talks podcast. Celso Talks podcast. Celso Talks podcast.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Celso Talks Podcast with your host, Celso Luis Santiago Jr., transmitting live from Dunkirk, New York. It is November 24, 2025, and the time it is 4:47 p.m. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Celso Talks Podcast. The topic of today that we are going to talk about, it is called King's Talk. What King's Talk means. I'm gonna give you the definition or the meaning of King's Talk. King's Talk is basically when either two men or a group of men talk about women problems, talk about conversations that a group of friends or maybe two friends will talk about. It's a real to real conversation or a heart to heart conversation. It's called King's Talk. Just like if it was a female where two girls are talking, it's called Queen's Talk, which is the same thing, a heart to heart conversation or real to real conversation between two homegirls or a group of females, where their main topic they would talk about is men problems. So as a man, I would have a conversation with another man, which is my homeboy or a brother of mine or a best friend of mine, and we'll talk about women. We'll talk about woman problems. Because that would be the first and main conversation, the main topic to talk about when it comes to King's Talk. I know a couple episodes ago, I was talking about excuse me. First of all, okay, first let me see my comments first, okay? Where I can see my comments. All right. I know that a couple episodes ago, I was talking about a friend of mine that I know for a long, very long time, where he having a problem with his ex girlfriend, and I'm not going to say having a problem with his ex girlfriend. I'm going to say a situation with his ex where maybe there's a part in him that does not let him to be happy for his ex. His ex girlfriend got into a new relationship, and I think his ex girlfriend maybe was into like couple relationship because I think they broke up. They be breaking up for like a year and something, maybe a year and a month, where I'm gonna say before this new man that she have, um, I guess she never show off her relationship after their relationship that she had with my friend into this new relationship that she is, where she has been showing off her man on Facebook, where I guess the way that he was explaining to me, when we had this, conversation, and today we had this great conversation where, like, I call it King's Talk, where he gives me the permission to talk about on my podcast. Every topics that I talk about, like I said before, either I found it on Facebook, either I see a video or something that 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 caught my caught my attention, where I want to make as a topic to talk about my podcast, or I have a conversation with a friend of mine, or a fan of Celso Top Podcast sends me on an email a topic where they want me to talk about, because it might be a topic where it's a situation that they're going through or they went through, and they want a podcaster like me to talk about it. So maybe I could find a solution. Maybe through me talking in my podcast, I can help someone, or I can help them to get out of the situation. So, my friend, after the conversation that we had, at least for 2 hours, he said, I give you the permission again to speak about it in your podcast. And I said, that's fine. No problem. I will speak about it. I will make it to another topic, but this time I'm going to name the topic King's Talk. So I think the problem that he got is where he still haven't moved on from his ex girlfriend. He still haven't moved on because his ex girlfriend broke his heart. His ex girlfriend broke out with him, and to this day, he doesn't know the real reason why she broke out with him. So when this girl got into a new relationship where I know he called me, I think it was at 3 in the morning. Yeah, I was still up. Remember I was home and I was still up. Um, I think I was watching a movie or whatever, and he called me crying. Like I was worried because oh shit, are you okay? Everything is good. What's wrong? Like I was trying to figure out what was going on, and he's like, my ex girlfriend got a new man. If you guys heard Lil C rapping on one of his albums that says my ex girlfriend got a new man, I wrote, I wrote my ex girlfriend got a new man because this goes according to the situation of a friend of mine. So he called me that night, that morning, it was like 3 in the morning. And he said, my ex girlfriend got a new man. I said, what? He said, yeah, she has a new man. And I'm like, how do you know? I said, man, I still got her on Facebook, and I see this guy next to her. And I'm like, probably could be a friend of hers. He said, no, 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 no. I know that's her. I know that's a new man. I'm like, are you sure? He said, yeah, I'm sure. So I guess the problem that he got, what he was explaining to me, that when she was in a relationship with him, I think they was like for almost a year. I don't know how many months they were together. I think he told me, but I don't remember how many months they were together. But he said when she was in a relationship with him before the breakup, he said that she never showed him on Facebook. She never even mentioned his name on Facebook, never said something about him like, oh, this is my world, this is my boyfriend, nothing. Now that this new man that she got now, I guess what the conversation that we just had, uh, he was telling me that she showed the guy on Facebook and they take pictures together, and I think she had a tattoo with his name on it. I don't remember. But he was like, I guess he was hurt, but at the same time, he was angry. Where I had to use my ex girlfriend. I had to use one of my ex girlfriends as a example, because maybe with me telling him of my situation, maybe with me telling him how I'm handling it, maybe it will help him. Maybe it will change his situation a little bit. So he was like, yeah, and then she got a tattoo of his name and blah 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 blah. That she showed him off, and I feel like she showed him off because maybe she wants me, to feel some type of way or blah 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 blah. So okay, let me tell you my situation, because I told her I feel like your situation is almost the same situation as mine. And when I told you what I've been through, and when I told you how I how I do deal with it, maybe maybe this right here, it might help you a little bit. It might change your situation. So I told him about a girl that I met on Messenger, a girl that was living in Ricine, Wisconsin. I told him about how I met this girl um a backyard wrestling group chat where um where I was with this girl for 8 months. Then I told him about that it was a long distance relationship where we were together for 8 months, and a so-called brother of hers said something about me that I supposedly said about her, and it was not true, and she believed her so-called brother over me, and she broke up with me, where I did not know into this day the real reason why she broke up with me, and I said that that the breakup almost put me on depression, where I had to I had to step away from backyard wrestling for like a little while. I had to step away from my friends for a little while. I had to step away from the backyard wrestling group chats, where I had to step away from my talk shows, my podcasts, where I needed a mental break. A mental break that I took for these 2 or 3 months, where I left my talk show in the hands of some co-hosts. I left my podcast in the hands of some co-podcasters, where I needed a mental break for at least 3 months. to heal, to recover myself. And when I took that mental break, it came back. I was still was not healed, but I was in the process of healing, where at least I was a little stronger to, to keep going with my life and move on with my life and stuff like that. And then I told him that I found out that she's with a new man. I found out that, and I said, I was in a place where it did bother me a little bit, but at the same time, I was strong enough to say, "Hey, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for, hey, her relationship. I'm happy for her. She found somebody that loves her. Blah 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 blah." And then, you know, and I was in that situation where I was, I'm happy for her. And it's, the girl is happy. I'm happy, and and that's fine. And but at the same time, I told him that the either there is a part of me, there is a part of me that is happy with her. Trust and believe. There's a part of me where I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she got a man. I'm happy that she's doing great. I'm happy you know that she's engaged with this man, and I'm happy that she even got a tattoo with his name on her neck. And and even she showed me, she did. She showed it on Messenger, and I was like, oh wow, that's nice. That's really good. That's nice. That's a nice tattoo. When she was talking, we had a conversation with her about it, where I was like, she was telling me it hurts, and I said, yeah, when you put your um tattoo on your neck, it's going to hurt. That's because it's a part that's very sensitive. And it was a great conversation that I had with her. And but there was a part that there's a part of me that I told him, even though there's a part of me that is happy for her, but there's another part of me where I'm not gonna say it's not happy for her. I'm just gonna say it's bothered. It's bothered. Where I'm working every single day. I'm working with that part of me. Maybe one day, that part of me where it's bothered, it will be unbothered. It will be, I will be completely happy for her. Right now, I'm 50-50. I'm 50% happy for her, 50% I'm not. Because of the breakup, of how we broke up, of the situation, and how the situation left a scar on my heart, in my heart, where I was angry at the same time. At the same time, was happy for her, but at the same time, I was angry. Where, like, damn, you're doing all this stuff. I see you putting pictures of you and your man, and you got tattoos, and they're like, damn, you never did that with me. It's that part, that dark side, where it's like the goose the 50% on my side is like I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her. She's engaged and she's happy, and then and I'm happy for her, and if she's happy, I'm happy. But that other 50% of that of part of me is not. Where it's like, damn, you never had done that with me. You never show me off. You never show me off in Facebook where you say, "Oh, this is my man, and this is I love him," and blah 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 blah. And I even sent you an engagement ring where I don't know where that engagement ring end up. I don't know where I don't know where that engagement ring end up. And it's like, damn, like you got a tattoo with his name on it. You never did that for me. But I told him that part, I'm working on it. I'm working with that part. As a man, I'm working with that part where I'm keeping my opinions to myself, where instead of just being negative, I'm positive about it, where I let her live her life, where I don't have, there's no bad blood between me and her, where we're still friends, where if there's a problem that she got, she could come to me and talk about it. We could talk about it as friends. And that part that is still, it's like in the shadows. It's hitting in the shadows where I keep it, I keep it hitting in the shadows where I'm like, okay, I'm happy. Excuse me, I'm happy for her, but I know that I'm still working with that part of me that it still got questions without answers, and it's bothering. But at the same time, okay, I know I gotta work with this because I don't want to lose my friendship with her. I don't. That if I say something about it, it might bring bad blood between me and her, and that's what I don't want. Yes, I tried. I tried to get back with her many times. I did. I tried to get back with her many times, and she knows. She knows. She knows that I still got feelings for her. She knows that I still love her. She knows that I do want her back. Where I'm learning to accept that that's never going to happen. That having a chance to get her back is not going to happen. It's not. At first, I thought I had a chance, but I don't. So, with telling him my situation of how I deal with it, and I said, "This is what I'm going to tell you." And I know, I've said this before in the podcast. I said, "You got two choices. You got two choices. Either blocked her from Facebook, where you're not going to be her friend anymore. Because I always, in my mind, I always was saying this. I always was saying, never be a friend of your ex girlfriend. Never, never have a friendship with your ex girlfriend, because the past is going to come back. Where the past is going to be between y'all two. But maybe because I'm older now, 42 years old, I'm older now, and I have a different type of mentality. I have a different a different type of thinking, where maybe you can be your friend of your ex-girlfriend. Maybe you can. Because I'm a friend of my ex-girlfriend. I am. We friends, and and there's many times she comes to me, I need your help, and and or whatever she wants to talk about, or she needs an advice, and I'll give it to her. I'm so cool, cool. Are you good? You okay? There's many times that I do ask her, is she okay? And I said, yo, if you need something, you let me know. And I said, that's that's up to you. If you want to keep being her friend, which I know that maybe you're not 100% happy for her. Maybe you're not like me, where I'm 50% happy for her, and then I'm 50% I'm not, but I'm working with that 50% because I want to make it as a 100% to be happy for her. I do. I want to make a 100% to be happy for her. I do. Maybe I have feelings for her still, where I still want to be her friend. I still want to, I still want her around me. Maybe it's that. Maybe because still got feelings for her. I still want her around me. I still want to talk to her. I don't want to lose her friendship. Stuff like that. And he asked me a question. How do you deal? How can you do it? How do you deal with your ex girlfriend, putting photos of her boyfriend with her, and then on Facebook, and when she showed you her his name on her neck, how do you deal with it? And I'm gonna show you, and this is something that I learned. You choose, you choose how you want to feel. You choose to ignore that feeling. You choose to pretend that you don't have that feeling. He said, how do you do it? I said, I'm going to show you. Maybe with my situation and how I deal with it, maybe this is going to help you. Maybe this gonna it's going to put you where I am. If you see a picture of her, don't ever think that she's showing off. Don't ever think that she's doing it to hurt you. Don't ever think that she's doing it to show you off. That don't ever think that she's showing that her boyfriend is better than you, and but no, don't ever think that. That's negativity. That negativity is where you need to make it positive. You know what I do? I said, you want to know what I do? Every time I see her, I see I see her with her boyfriend or her pictures. She talk about her boyfriend. I scroll up. I ignore it. I scroll up. I ignore it. I pretend that I don't see it. It's like I every time I see that, I put a blindfold. I put a blindfold, and put in my mind that I pretend that I never saw it. Because if I don't pretend that I never saw that, it's going to bring negativity. It's going to bring where I'm going to be so angry at her, where if I let that happen, it can break a friendship between me and her. And I think that my friendship with her is very important, where I protect my friendship with her against negativity, against negative thoughts, where I had to recuperate, I have to regroup, where I have to tell myself, be happy for her. Be happy for her. And I tell myself that every single day. I choose not to be heartbroken. I choose not to cry. I choose not to have bad thoughts, where I close the door to jealousy. I do. I close the door to jealousy, where there is a forbidden door. There is a forbidden door that I don't open. It's a forbidden door where all those negative thoughts and that jealousy, I throw it in through that door, where there is a room full of negative thoughts. There's a room of jealousy. There's a room of anger, where I close that door, that forbidden door, that I swear to myself, never open it. Because if I open that door, where all that jealousy can come out through that door, all that negative thoughts can come through that door, it might affect their friendship that I got with my ex girlfriend. Where it might bring drama, it might bring problems, and that's one thing that I don't want to happen. Because maybe because yes, I still got feelings for her, feelings that I still couldn't kill. I thought I killed, but survived. So instead of trying to kill that feelings, I just keep it in a bottle that is closed, a bottle that I'm so careful not to break it, where I play it safe. I do. I play it safe where I give therapy to myself. I do. I do. I get therapy to myself daily. Where hold on guys, I'm sorry. Where sometimes I grab my cigarettes. Sometimes, I do grab my cigarettes or I smoke weed sometimes, and um where sometimes I go outside of my apartment and take some fresh air where I clear my mind, where I chose not to have that type of life where I'm going to be sad every single day, where I'm going to be hurt every single day, because I learned this during the separation, during my divorce that I have with my ex-wife, during 2021 all the way to 2024. It teach me. It teach me how to deal with my feelings, and how to deal with myself, and how to look things a different way, have have a different type of mentality, have a different type of thinking, where I take it like a shot of liquor. When you take a liquor and you go, "Woo," you take it like a shot of liquor. I do that. I take that as a shot of liquor. I say, you know what? It happens. That's life. I have to move on. I can't keep in the same spot where I'm going to be crying over my ex-girlfriend, where I'm going to be sad, where I'm going to be hurt, where I'm going to keep going through a depression or depression that I've already been through, and I don't want to go through that again. Where I chose how I want to feel. Yes, it's a hard pill to swallow. It is. But I decide to move on with my life. I am the writer of my life. There is an author of my book, which is God, my Lord, which is Jesus Christ. But God had put a shield that is covering my heart, where God teach me how to choose how do I want to feel. I choose how do I want to feel, because even I have in the author of my book, but God gave me strength enough to become the writer of my book, so I can write my book, my life, the way I want to write it. When I was going through the divorce, I didn't have the strength like I do right now. I didn't have the mentality like I do right now. I didn't have the different way of thinking like I do right now. Where during my divorce, I even tried to commit suicide. Not once, not twice, but three times. Now that I have that strength, I choose how I want to feel when I do see my ex girlfriend and she's entitled, she has every reason to show the whole world how happy she is. Where what I do, I craft for her, I support it, that she's showing that she's happy with the new relationship that she has, where I do respect it. I respect it enough where I see my friend is happy. I don't see it as my ex girlfriend is happy. I see it as my friend is happy. And I support my friend. You see how I changed that? You see how I changed it? It because I choose how to feel about it. And I told him, maybe you're not there yet, but you will be. So I choose to ignore it. I choose to scroll up. When I do see that, scroll up. Don't look at it. Just be happy for her. She's doing great. She got somebody that loves her. She's doing great. Just keep moving on. And that's what I do. And he's like, I wish I could be stronger like you. I said, you're going to. It's a process. It's a process that you gotta go through. Maybe you having this conversation with me because maybe God wanted me to, to speak to you, and then, and hey, listen, man, you got two situations. You got not. I'm not gonna say situation. It's a decision that you gotta make. I decided to still be her friend. I decided to be happy for her, and yes, there's a part of me that is still not there yet. So I'm 50-50. But one day that part of me is gonna go to 100, where I'll be 100% happy for her. And I said, you need to work with yourself. Work with yourself. Work with yourself. Focus on you. And maybe if she's just doing it to show off, maybe if she's just doing it to show you off, and then you know what? Then karma is gonna get her. Don't worry. Karma is gonna get her. But don't think that way. Don't ever think that she's trying to show off. Even if she's trying to show off, don't think about it. She is happy, you be happy. You're gonna find yourself somebody else, and you're going to. Trust and believe. I say you are a smart man, you intelligent, and don't worry, man, you're gonna find somebody else in your life. where you are going to be showing off on Facebook. You'll be going to be showing off on Facebook on how happy you are with your new girl. It's going to happen. And trust and believe God's going to give you somebody that you're not even going to think about her anymore. God's going to give you somebody that you're going to be so in love with this girl that you're not going to even have time to think about it. Where if you still her friend, you're going to be like, oh, she's happy. I'm happy too. Hey, you happy? I'm happy too. We both happy. You happy with your new girl? Man, I'm happy with my new girl. I said, you're going to think that way. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's a process. I said, maybe God is trying to teach you something. Maybe it's God wants you to have faith and stuff like that. And that's how God works. He's testing you, he's testing your faith, and he's testing how all that stuff, and maybe this is what you need to do. You need to just focus on yourself. Stop. If you do see, if you still want to be her friend, and if you do see that she's sending you pictures on Facebook of how, what, just be happy for her. Just ignore it. Just pretend that you never saw it, like I do. I pretend that I don't see it. I scroll up. Okay, I scroll up. Maybe that's what you need to do. And I told him, don't worry, you wanna get there. Trust and believe you're gonna be the same spot that I am. You're gonna be like, you know what, Celso, you're right. You know what, Celso, you're right. It's a process. It's a process. And I told him, you're gonna get there. There was another situation that another friend of mine, and like I feel like I'm like the papa. I feel like I'm the papa of all my friends. I think they see me as the papa. I think they do because they come to me and they know that maybe I'm in a whole different level. Maybe I don't know. They come to me and they speak to me. I had a friend of mine that I think he was with his girlfriend probably for 5 years, whatever, and she broke up with him on Facebook, and he was heartbroken and whatever, and I used my ex girlfriend again as a and I told him how I deal with it, and that brought comfort to him. It brought him comfort, and he said, "Damn, if my friend is dealing with it, where he's got a different different type of mentality, maybe it's like for me, it's like an inspiration of some people, for some people, where I use my life as an example, where I'm able to help a lot of people. And this is why I do my podcast. This is the main reason why I created Celso Talk podcast. I speak about my life, and I speak how, I tell people how I deal with it. Maybe there's a lot of people that are going through a situation that I'm going through, and they want to know how I did it, how overcome it. But I know that after the conversation that I had with my friend, he saw that, like, damn, you know what? You're right. You're right. I let the get best of me. I let the get the best of me. And the thing is that I'm not letting the situation to get the best of me. I'm not. I choose how I want to feel. I choose how I want to feel. And if I want to feel happy every day, I choose to feel happy every single day, even though, yes, I might be heartbroken and hurt and whatever. But you know what? I use that hurt and make it into strength. It's like, for example, I don't know. I mean, back in the day when when you was a kid, you was learning how to ride a bike, right? It's like when you learn how to ride a bike, what's gonna happen? You're gonna fall for the bike. You're gonna fall off, and you're gonna, scrape. You're gonna scrape your knees, and you're gonna have have wounds on your knees. And what happened when you the first time that you ride a bike, you fall off. What's gonna happen? It's a decision you need to make. When you fall from that bike, either you decide to stay on the floor and cry, or you decide to shake it off, get back in the bike, and ride it again. And if you fall again and hurt yourself again, you still got the decision if you would still want to be stay on the floor crying, or you just want to go ahead, get back on a bike, or go to your house, cure, take care of your wounds, and get back in the bike. It's simple. It might not be simple, but it's a process. It's a process to ride a bike for the first time until you learn how to ride it. It's a process. It's a process that you gotta go through. It's a process what you gotta go through. It's how you decide to deal with that situation. Either you want to stay stuck or you want to move on. It's how you want. It's how you want to be. How you want to deal with the situation. How you want, if you want to stay stuck or you want to move on. That's how it is. You choose how you want to feel. Choose how you want to feel. So I hope that this conversation that I'm having with you guys, I hope I helped him, and anybody that is listening to me that is going through the same situation. I hope I helped you. Choose how you want to feel. All right, guys, this was the episode of Self Talk Podcast, and you was with your sister Luis Santiago Jr. And you was in Self Talk Podcast. Love you all, and into another episode of Self Talk Podcast. Have a great night, and God bless you.